the White Ship. She was one of the fastest vessels that was ever built. The man who should be king of the English now, the son of King Henry, was on board when she sailed off. And with the prince there were 140 knights and many nobles, all on their way from Normandy to England. They say the ship hit the rocks, and then a fire broke out. Even before the White Ship had departed, the prince and his men had begun to drink and get violent. Monks that were meant to bless the voyage were then forced to disembark. Some say the ship had been cursed. The king's son and many of his family were pulled down into the Black Sea that night.
You're forgetting one important detail. Not only these monks, but also Stephen of Blois, the king's nephew, left the ship before it embarked. They say he got ill.
That old rumor.
The same Stephen who calls himself the King of the English now.
What? That cannot be a coincidence.
Yes, it can be. Of course he's king now. He survived. He is the king's nephew.
What do you think, my lord?
I think Stephen is a clever man. Clever enough to have his whole family perish. But why he would want to rule that godforsaken rock, I will never understand.
What makes you say that? I love my country.
Then why are you leaving?
Well, because I want to see something new.
I'll tell you what you're going to see. A proper country, where people know how to behave.
What about you? Why are you leaving?
I had no reason to stay.
Really? Huh. I guess I should stay out of other people's business. Forgive me.
You English do talk a lot, don't you?
I just don't know how to feel about leaving my country for the first time. I mean, how should anyone feel?
You'll see what happens.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just running away.
You should all get some rest. It will not be long now till we reach Cherbourg.
Thank the Lord. I can't wait to be back.
Welcome back, adventurers, to the Pillars of the Earth, Book 3, The Eye of the Storm. We are in Cherbourg,
In the late
Normandy.
summer of 1142, I had left my home country, England, for good. My old life lay in shambles, as did my former home of Kingsbridge. Having failed both my friends and family, I had set out to find my baby's father, the man I still loved with all my heart, Jack Jackson. And so early one morning in July, I finally arrived on the shores of Normandy. With nothing on me but a pouch of coin and a young, curious face yet unnamed, who was just as unfamiliar to this new world as was I.
The White Ship. Man, that is exciting. We left England for good. Or maybe not for good, I don't know. Maybe we will come back. But, yeah, we are in Normandy to find Jack. I hope he didn't find a new life with a new woman. I mean, we'll never know, right? But let's inspect the White Ship. The sinking of the White Ship in 1120. The White Ship was one of the fastest ships of its time. It was steered by the son of the captain of the Mora, the ship that brought William the Conqueror from Normandy to England, when he invaded England in 1066. Like his father before him, the captain of the White Ship gladly offered his vessel to many members of the royal household of King Henry for passage on their travel from Normandy to England to visit the king. But like all the poor souls who went aboard the ship, the captain did not survive the voyage. In the dark of night, the ship hit rocks and a fire broke out. The ship was dragged down into the dark abyss of the sea, and with it many of the king's heirs. Stephen of Blois was meant to be on board as well, but it is said a sudden sickness caused him to leave the ship before it set sail. That November night, as the White Ship sank, Stephen became the last remaining male heir to the English throne, and thus some claim he was responsible for the sinking. Now we know the background story of the succession on the English throne. That's interesting. Trace Jack's route into mainland Europe. There's a mason. Hey! That's amazing. Maybe he knows Jack. How convenient. I took the first ship in the morning, had to get away as fast as possible. Can we go back? Don't think so, right? Nope. That's it. Heard there's a lot of fighting for the castle. The ship wouldn't land here. Okay. Oh, the ship wouldn't land there, maybe. Huh. Yeah, it wouldn't land there. That's why it landed here. I think. I don't know. Okay, I recognize those tools. A mason like Jack. Let's talk to him.
You're still here.
Oh, it's you. I'm just trying to get my feet used to good solid ground again. The last bit of our voyage wasn't exactly my pint of ale.
Oh, he was on the ship too.
That hammer you're carrying, do you happen to be a mason?
Actually, I am. You have a keen eye, mistress.
I guess I just know a mason when I see one.
To be honest, I haven't been one long. Just finished my apprenticeship in Salisbury. Before that, I used to shear sheep with my parents, but I guess that wasn't really for me. Father still hates me for leaving, though.
Shall we just have a chat with him and tell him that we left too because we left our old life behind? Or shall we just go to the core of our investigation? Let's talk with him a bit. He's as lost as we are.
I left my old life as well.
Scary, isn't it? To start off fresh and all that.
Well, you definitely sound more excited than scared.
Oh, I am excited. Wouldn't anyone be?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, here's a nice one.
What will you do to find work here as a mason?
Don't know. That's for me to find out. All I heard was that the wages are better over here.
So you'll just travel from town to town and look for employment?
Right. And I was starting to say, a fellow mason told me about the abbey there. He said these Normans build their churches quite differently than we do back home. I need to see that with my own eyes. Maybe learn a thing or two.
Oh, that's amazing. Maybe check when to see the abbey in Lesay.
Do many masons go to Lesay?
I dunno. It's really just a tiny town. The mason who told me just happened to do some repairs there once. It's likely he told others as well.
I'm looking for someone. A red-haired mason called Jack Jackson. He came to France about a year ago or so.
A fellow mason, great. Unfortunately, I wouldn't know a thing. After all, I just arrived here with you.
I know, but should you meet someone like that on your journey, tell him Aliena of Shiring is looking for him.
All right. Jack Jackson. I'll keep an eye out for you.
Thank you.
Great.
Have a safe journey.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Man, that's so cool. Let's see. Can we ask him how we get there?
I really should stay away from boats. I'm still all to and fro on the inside.
Do many masons go to Lesay?
I dunno.
Oh,
It's
it's
really
the
just
same.
a tiny town. The mason who told me just happened to do some...
Okay.
It's likely.
I thought he might give us some direction, but he obviously didn't. I won't give the baby a name until I find Jack. Can we talk with him about the Amores? Maybe we shouldn't. Oh, a market. They are bargaining for passage. Doing business with the English must pay. Maybe we can build up a shop too and make some money here in Normandy. What does he sell? We won't find out. This seems to be a meat shop. Right? I can't really see what he has. Maybe some barrels there. Maybe he sells ale. I do not know. So meat, ale. That's meat too, I think. They're selling fish. And whatever cargo they can get their hands on. So they just sell everything. Good. And I like the houses. Thatched roof. That's so cool. Oh, a coach woman. Maybe we can have a ride. Appears to be her coach. She must know her way around France. Oh, maybe we can ask her how to get to Lesay.
Hey, you. That's quite a bundle you got there. Where are you headed?
The people here are very friendly. I like that. And they all speak English. That's very comfortable. Do you know the road to Lesay? Yeah, let's ask her. Why not? Maybe he came here too.
Have you seen a red-haired mason? He must have landed here sometime late last summer.
Another ginger in Normandy? I wouldn't have noticed, even if he was carrying a hammer instead of a fishing rod. Maybe you should ask someone in Barfleur. That's where all the travellers come through, the pilgrims and kings. Their lot rarely lands in Cherbourg, with the fortress passing back and forth between Stephen of Blois and Geoffrey of Anjou. Why you even came to Cherbourg in the first place baffles me.
It was the earliest ship I could get.
You must be in some hurry, madam.
Let's just say I needed to get away before I changed my mind.
Fine with me. Who am I to judge?
That's good. So we are at the wrong harbor. Interesting. Oh, I mean, wrong. We are not at the harbor where people normally come from. England to Normandy. I'm ready to leave Cherbourg. Do you know the road to Lesay? Yeah, let's ask about the other routes.
What other routes are there besides going through Barfleur?
Oh, I don't know, really. You need to ask the locals about that. But Barfleur sounds like a good place to start. Shake my hand and I'll take you there.
Oh, that's good.
Do you know the road to Lesay?
Been there, seen it. But I hope you're not planning to go there on foot. Tell you what, you give me some coins and I'll treat you to me wagon. You can even change your destination once we're on the road, what'd you say?
Sounds very good, but
Travelling by coach is a lot less strenuous than walking.
That's
Your
true.
little worm deserves some warmth and a rocking carriage.
And it will, but first I am going to talk to that guy. I just saw him while having the conversation with that woman. For a moment I thought, but it's not him. But maybe we can talk to him. I think he's a fisherman. There's a fishing boat at least.
Good day. I am looking for someone. A traveller who came through here last summer. Oh, hush now. I need to talk to this man.
Looks young.
He was born at the beginning of summer.
What's his name?
I haven't given him one yet.
You should. He needs to know who he is. Makes growing up a lot easier.
That's true.
You said you're looking for someone.
The man I'm looking for looks a bit like you, actually. A bit more boyish, though.
So he has red hair, but no beard. Well, I don't know every redhead around these parts. There are quite a few of us. Most of my family here in Cherbourg is ginger.
Oh, his name is Jack Jackson, and he is a mason.
No. No, sorry. I haven't seen him. And I come here every day. Maybe May saw him. She helps the sailors get their cargo to the nearby towns. Carries travelers, too.
I'll ask her. Well, thank you. Apart from Barfleur, what other ports do people commonly use to get into France?
Apart from Barfleur. Well, there's Harfleur. Sometimes people even go through Honfleur, which is close by. You could ask May to take you.
I might. Thank you for your help. I'm afraid I can't help it. You really are quite like him.
Maybe I should become a mason then. Would definitely pay more than being a fisherman. Have a safe journey.
Okay, so many fleurs. Barfleur, Harfleur, Barfleur. But yeah, we know a lot of places now, and I think... Oh, cool. The harbors of Normandy, that is amazing. And I think that is the woman he's talking about. Not talking to, we talked to her before, so yeah. Let's inspect the harbors. The harbors of Normandy. Barfleur is one of the chief ports of embarkation for England, and it's important for Normandy's ship construction. It is the most popular harbor for the voyages of rulers and royalty on their way to or from England. But is it for the normal people? I wonder. Harfleur is another prominent seaport, which used to be the principal port of the ancient Salites. In old times, a Roman road led from Harfleur directly to Troyes. Harfleur is another small port not far away from Harfleur. What? Honfleur? Sorry. Oh my god. Honfleur is another small port not far away from Harfleur. I'm getting confused here. Cherbourg is a fishing town, but has recently become a center of political conflict. In their effort to win the ongoing war, Stephen of England and Geoffrey of Anjou, the Norman husband of Empress Maud, have fought more than once to each claim Cherbourg and its harbor for their side. Who is at the moment in charge, though? I wonder. So, we are definitely at the wrong harbor. And the Lessay is where the Abbey is. We don't go there directly. We go first to the other harbors, so that we know where he started. But Barfleur is the port for the royals. So maybe we should first go to Harfleur? Huh. I don't know. I hope we can go wherever we want or to all the ports and find out where he landed. Because I think that would be the best thing to do, to start where he started.
Changed your mind, madam? You know, I reserved a cozy spot just for you.
All right, take me out of town.
All right, where do you need to be?
Okay. We don't go to Lasay. We are in Barfleur. There's Harfleur. And there's Harfleur, but we cannot go there. What? Cherbourg. Oh no, we are in Cherbourg. We can go to... Oh, right. I'm already totally confused. And, well, Barfleur is the royal port. Yeah, let's go there. I mean, it's the biggest port, it seems. And then we can go maybe later to Harfleur. And then we go into the country. We first find
went
out...
to Barfleur, a scenic port town built on granite. It was the biggest harbour in Normandy and the main entry point for the Normans to their new possession of the Isle of England.
Okay, cool.
I talked to some of the sailors and fishermen, but no one had remembered seeing Jack. How could they? Almost a year had passed since he, a simple mason, had journeyed through the busy town, a town with no memory other than that of the last king who passed through on yet another one of his violent conquests. Maybe I was approaching this the wrong way. What had drawn him to France in the first place? The distance to Kingsbridge? Or something specific? What was my lead?
No, I think the approach is the right one. I just don't think that he landed in the port of the kings. I think he landed in a smaller town, like Harfleur. And there people would remember more easily because...
I arrived in Harfleur and finally got a lead. In an inn, a man remembered a red-haired Englishman who had planned to head past Lasay to the Mont Saint-Michel.
Yes, I knew it. Okay, Mont Saint-Michel, so we don't even have to go to Lasay. We can directly go to the next bigger city.
I thanked him and was about to leave when a group of pilgrims asked me over to their table. They told me that they too were heading for Mont Saint-Michel. And although they had no intentions to stop in Lasay, I knew that joining a group would be a lot safer than traveling alone.
Absolutely. And we go to Mont Saint-Michel. We don't go to Lasay. We don't need to. Perfect. There we go. Yeah, and we go directly. We could go to Lasay, but we don't need to.
My father had once told me tales of the Mont Saint-Michel. Long ago, the Archangel Michael had urged Hubert of Avranches to build an abbey on a lonely rock on the ocean by burning a hole into his head. They say one can go and see his penetrated skull on display in the church of his hometown.
That's creepy. But that's also a very, very beautiful monastery up there, isn't it? Oh man.
It was a windy day when I arrived, and the place was crowded with pilgrims and jongleurs. I remembered Jack's fascination with these tellers of stories. I spoke to one who was just taking a break. As it happened, he had indeed met Jack, although not in Mont Saint-Michel, but on a road heading east from there.
East. Okay.
Apparently, Jack had been hopelessly tracking jongleurs who might have known his father, Jack Cherbourg. But as he'd been gradually running out of money, he'd intended to look for work in Le Mans or Tours. That was about 6 months ago. I was catching up.
Le Mans or Tours? Ah. Should we go directly to Tours? So he went east, that's Le Mans. But Tours is also east. Like, southeast. If this is north... Is it, though? I think so. Let's go... Yeah, let's go first to Le Mans. we now cannot afford jumping towns because we don't know where he stayed. And Le Mans is closer.
Going
Is
to
he
Le
in
Mans
Paris?
reminded me of all the trouble I'd left behind in England. 30 years ago, Le Mans had been conquered by the Plantagenet Geoffrey of Anjou, Maud's husband. And although they'd held it ever since, other noble families kept on pulling at the city, like Maud and Stephen tearing at England.
Ooh.
There was no sign of Jack, but I got news of a new kind of cathedral being built in Saint-Denis, just north of Paris. It was possible that Jack had gone there to learn from the craftsmen. That was, if he hadn't travelled further south, looking for work in one of the many churches in Tours, the hometown of Saint-Martin.
He is in Paris. I knew it. But we first go to Tours. Just because it's a nice tour. And I want to know everything about Normandy. After 2 months on the road. Tours, Central France. It's a Gothic cathedral. Maybe he learned here about new building styles and such. That is so exciting. Look at that. Like the ones Tom used to make, but more modern back in Kingsbridge. Everything feels so far away now. Oh, a sparrow. That is so good. I love it. Important looking man. Seems self-assured. A bit of anger on his lip though. Wow, just like in Kingsbridge. No, look at the style. Although the design looks very different. Yes, of course he sees that. Almost from another world. Yeah, more slender. Ah, that is so good. And these things made of stone, therefore, to make big arches. So, like that one, you construct a wooden arch underneath, and then you can build up the stone, and then you can take the wood away, and it stands on its own. Yeah, that's so cool. Oh, statue of Mother Mary. You and me both know, being a mother is not easy. Uh-huh. Okay, cool. Let's talk to the important man then.
Good day. Are you the master builder?
What is it?
I'm looking for a mason who may have passed through here. An Englishman with carroty hair. He calls himself Jack Jackson.
A redhead?
Yes. Did you see him? He might have asked for work here.
No, I'm not looking for new masons. We're just doing repairs.
Ah, but was he here?
No, never seen him. Now, stand back, woman. Something could fall on your baby's head.
He seems a bit fishy, and that doesn't look like repairs, to be honest. They're constructing something. There are other construction sites around Tours. I was told he came here. Yeah, let's ask him. Although he might not like that.
May I talk to your workers?
No, they're busy. And I can assure you they have nothing to say on that matter.
Perhaps I'll talk to them once they've finished for the day.
It would be a waste of time.
Something happened here.
You hesitated when I mentioned a redhead. Are you sure you haven't seen him?
Yes, I am sure.
Huh. I actually don't believe him.
Are there other construction sites around Tours?
Well, yes, it's a big town.
And where would an outsider most likely find a job?
Dunno. Ask around. All right, he was here. Was working for me. but I had to throw him out after 2 or 3 days.
Why?
Because he was all want. Let me redesign the roof, let me make the nave lighter. All pretty ideas, but he never shut up long enough to do the work he was supposed to do. Shit, that man was almost as needy as my son when he was still a brat.
He does know a lot about his craft.
Well, I know masons like him. They grow up gifted, but without a mote of discipline in their guts. Can't work with someone like that.
Do you know where he went next?
No idea. Maybe to Limoges or Angoulême. Maybe even to La Rochelle. Seemed to have plans for every cathedral on God's green earth, but none for himself.
I understand. I'll leave you to it then.
Bon voyage.
Ooh. And now we have to follow those... Huh. We cannot go to Paris anymore. La Rochelle, an important and free port town. Another site with another cathedral. A flourishing artistic center. Huh. But would Jack have known that? Maybe we first go where another cathedral was located, because Jack would have thought that he could maybe find work there, because all he ever did was build a cathedral. And then we can maybe go to Limoges, where he might learn something new and thus go there. But I would also love to see La Rochelle. I just want to make a tour. Ah, dang it. But we try to think like Czech, and Czech would, I think, trace cathedrals, because that's what he knows. He hasn't seen much yet.
We had just left Tours when I suddenly felt dizzy. I stopped and made rest, trying to catch my breath, then lost my breakfast in a ditch at the side of the road.
Uh-oh.
To my horror, our baby too had grown pale, his breath shallow like that of an old man. I tried not to panic, but the next inn was a long distance away and we couldn't stay on the road where it was wet and cold.
Oh no. We can go back to Tours. Make it to Poitiers. How long is it though? We try and get to Poitiers.
I managed to walk until the sun had fully risen before I keeled over. A knife merchant who'd been travelling behind me flagged down a coach heading back to Tours and haggled with the coachman to carry me back to an inn.
Uh-oh. So that was in vain.
Back in Tours, the fever got worse. I remember people carrying me into a room, laying me on a bed. I tried to feed my baby, but after that, everything turned into a blur. When I awoke, Jack was standing next to my bed.
That's a dream.
He scolded me for following him. "You know you could go anywhere you want," he whispered. "Why be stupid and follow me?" I tried to answer, but he just opened the window and jumped out, heading toward ancient Greece, or maybe all the way to Arabia. And in my feverish mind, I followed him.
Oh. I too would follow him to ancient Greece. What? What? That is crazy! We are now playing her dream. Oh gosh! Of course I go to Greece. no doubt about that. But in the next episode, we end this one here. We had a nice journey and we saw a lot of new things. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. So I hope you enjoyed it too. Thank you so much for watching. Have an adventurous and wonderful day, and goodbye.